How can a child that I so desire for be aborted? I cried on my way from work. I was crying. I'll go home. I was crying like, God, should I even leave this job? Because my intention is not for anybody to feel they need to abort their child. Little did I know I was pregnant that time too. I didn't know I was pregnant that time. I was scheduled for a routine operation, and my consultant said, oh, it's been a while since we did a scan. Let's scan you again to see where the fibroids are and all that before we do the operation. And I went in and there was a heartbeat. And I'm like, what? Heartbeat? That was in April. So I was like, oh, okay. I was happy. I'm like, should I tell my husband? Should I not tell him? Because he doesn't want to know. But I did tell him anyway. So my consultant was like, you have to come, every week for us to check. And then one day I got there and so I was like, oh, the heartbeat is a bit slow. Then I'm like, God, not again. Jeez, please, not again. The following week I went and there was no heartbeat. The baby had died. And again, they said to me, you go home and your body will get rid of it. So I came home. Fortunately or unfortunately, one of my best friends called and said, Nana, I want you and your husband to be godparents to my child. And my baby had died, I said, no, not a problem. We'll do it. I accepted the role and I have pictures of it. I accepted the role and I went with her. We did the shopping. They didn't say anything to her. Did the shopping, everything. On Sunday, me and my husband, we dressed in our white. We went to the church. But as I held the baby in front of the altar, that was when I prayed and I said, God, as I am holding this baby and mine is dead inside of me, a year by this time, you have to bless me. I am using this baby as a point of contact, God. I was standing there. People thought I was there, but that was the only thing I was saying to myself. The day we went to the hall, I got pictures and videos. We were dancing and all of that. And then one day I called her and I said, by the way, I am pregnant, but the baby is dead. And I have known about it all this while. She cried. She cried. It got to a point and I couldn't cry anymore. Like, I just couldn't. It became like a normal thing when I hear the doctor say it. I just couldn't cry. So every now and again, I still blackmail her to say, hey, the day I will show your video to everybody you were crying.
Guys, my name is Nana SA. I run this project called Black Next Gen. For today, we are having a couple, who are, ready to talk to us about their journey. And the journey that some people may call childlessness. I don't know whether that's the right word. Infertility. I don't know whether that's the right word. Whatever term you may call it. Some people may choose not to come on the camera. But they said, Nana, come on it. We are ready to talk. Not just because they felt, I'm not going to give you the whole vibe. Guys, my name is Nana. We are meeting this amazing couple who are ready to tell us about their journey. Stand by. Let's introduce Nana and her husband. Usually we think babies are just about the priority of the woman. I've got the husband also on board. Yeah? And that is really important. So guys, this is who we have. Nana.
Yeah. It has never been easy. There was a point that I was told that I had a polycystic ovary syndrome, that they had never seen it kind before, that they will have to remove my womb. I said, okay, what is that? I came home, I Googled, I was reading about it. Like, okay, what do I do with that information? You have to go and do biopsy, do this, da, da, da. I did the biopsy, came out, no, it isn't as they are saying it is. We're not going to take your womb out. And so it was a roller coaster. One doctor will tell you this, another one tells you that. I did not know that with the NHS, you have to have 3 miscarriages before you qualify for a referral to a miscarriage specialist. So even though I was under gynae and all of that, they weren't doing much for me. So when that time came and I got referred, I didn't know, so I wasn't keeping record of all the miscarriages I was having and reporting them. And then I saw this Indian consultant, And she's like, no, don't worry, you have a child. Da, 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 da. And then in the end, we were referred to the fertility specialist. I was 39 at that time. And you have 40 is the cutoff. So the pressure, again, from the medical point of view, in terms of IVF, I had a year. So that was giving me a lot of pressure. But again, the setback was, you qualify, we will present you to panel, but you have to lose weight. And that time, and I'm telling you, I had lost weight from dress size 28 to size 16. I didn't wait to be on me Lucy. Like, how much more? So I said to them, look, I've got big bones. I'm not fat. I've got big bones. I cannot lose the bones. But yeah, we had to go. A week, was it every 6 weeks? And then it was the same thing being told to us. And that lady was Indian as well. And she always said to me, Nana, you will have a child. Whether through IVF or not, you will have a child. She always said that to me. And then my husband had to take his sperms. And that was another point. In therapy, they'll say punctuation, right? That was another point where I felt, oh, maybe this is not easy for him as well to, ask him to bring his sperm, because all the checks, was down on me. And with the man, it's only the sperm that they ask you for. The only time they'll give you any treatment is if there are issues with your sperm. And he didn't talk about it. I even said, oh, do you want me to help you get a sperm? He was like, no. I don't even know when he did it. He did it and then he sent it. Until the result came, Nana. Should have seen the excitement on his face. Sure, the GP said they have never seen the sperm count like mine before. It is good. And I'm like, oh, so you're worried. So that was what I thought. Oh, so he was worried at that point. What if it was him? But I knew it wasn't, because I was falling pregnant. Just that I couldn't carry the pregnancy to term. So yeah, it's been so many. There was a time we went to Spain. I was having fun, and again I was pregnant. I didn't know I was pregnant until I came back. I was, I wanted to wear this dress, and I was putting on the corset. It wouldn't fit. I'm like, Ken, please pull, help. Nana. Yeah. And a lady friend of mine saw me once and said, oh, Nana, hey, this is your stomach. We thank God, though. It won't be long. And I wasn't pregnant. I was fat. But how do you respond? I said, thank God. We thank God. Do you know what she did? She followed it up with a phone call. Hey, I haven't heard from you for a long time. Has the baby arrived? I said, no, I've miscarried. And I wasn't even pregnant. I had to even lie. I was pregnant and I've miscarried. Because, yeah, people just wanted you to be pregnant or have a baby. And I felt, I'm not even going to engage in that conversation where I have to explain myself to you. So I just said that to her just to end that conversation. But in 2019, when I lost that baby, they actually said to me, now that the heartbeat has stopped, go home. Your body will get rid of the baby by itself. If it doesn't, then we will have to think of, other alternatives. But yeah, the baby will come out. And when it does, we want you to scoop the fetus and the blood, put in a container and bring it to the hospital. We want to use it to test and see why this keep happening. I said, these people. They just say it like a normal conversation. I said, okay. So I went to London to visit my spiritual parents. We went to the church. They prayed for me because it was just lingering on. But 5 pastors that day prayed. And as they were praying, I just felt this hot flash. Then after, I went quickly to the toilet to check, and there was nothing. But within 5 minutes from that, I felt like I was gonna die, like I was gonna faint, feeling dizzy. All of a sudden, I just sat down and I just miscarried. We had to use bean bags and things like that to scoop it. I said, don't throw it away. They want me to bring it. And imagine me being in London, right? My husband had to get a train to come and get me. And in the car with in the car with the cloths and all of that. To the house, of course, the hospital had closed, the early pregnancy session. So I stayed in the house, with the clothes and all of that. And then the next day, drove it again to the hospital. Yeah. Gave it to them. Overnight, yeah. And then gave it to them the next morning. Then they called me, I think 3 days after, to say, we couldn't find anything in there. It was just blood clots. Thank you, Baba. And I'm like, you people I can't say they are heartless, but it's like they are on autopilot. That's what they do. And probably they see worse than my case, that they just talk to you and then they move on. Not here is a number, here's a piece of paper. You can call these people for them to, offer you emotional support, or if you need counseling or nothing. And again, I had to carry on. So my consultant called me and she was quite, nice, and said, now that, this baby, I am going to do the operation for you. I will operate and take out the fibroids. Because where they were situated, it shouldn't cause miscarriages. It shouldn't stop you from falling pregnant. But I don't know what's happening. I said, surely it could be that, because you are thinking it isn't, but it could be. So let's just do it and see. And she said, I'll do it for you quickly. And she did. So I miscarried the baby around May. And she booked me in just for me to heal a bit, end of June, July. And then took me in and did the operation and said, give yourself 6 months. After that, try again. It will happen. If it doesn't happen, I will personally give you somebody's details for you to go to India and go and try.
Hold on a minute. Yeah. So we will definitely talk about what did happen after the 6 months or during that period of 6 months. Ken, this is the situation where we are hearing all these things going on for Nana. How supported did you feel you had? Was there did you get the support?
No, I gave up on the support because my wife was not even getting any support, and she was the one going through the physical challenge and the mental challenge. She wasn't getting support, so I knew there was nothing coming my way. So I never even thought about it. So I knew there was not going to be any support for me. I've just concentrated my mind on that, because she was the one in hospital. She was the one going through all the physical challenges and the mental challenges, but then there was no support.
So while she was in hospital, you coming back to that empty home, let me use that word, what was going on for you?
A lot of thoughts. What can I do to help? So what's going on? What does she need? What can I do? But there was nothing coming. So I was just feeding myself with my own answers, asking myself the questions. And the ones I could answer myself, I answered, and the ones I couldn't answer, I just left.
What were some of the answers that you were getting?
So my first question was, what can I do? And the first answer that comes is nothing. Because I don't know what to do. What can I do to help? Here there's somebody that's dear to your heart, is suffering, is going through a lot, but you don't have anything you can offer to that person, apart from just going there, comforting the person, telling it's going to be okay. So it's the same word repetition. Oh, it's going to be okay. It's going, and it was just hard coming back. So my only sort of resort was just go to work. If she was not in the house, just go to work. because I'm not that type that will go and sit with friends or people who go and take what kind of drugs. Or I'm not like that. So if there's no work, I'll just crawl into my bed and sit there at the hospital. Just come home. And I don't even sit down in the living room.
Okay.
Just if I come back from the hospital, just take a shower and then jump into bed. That's the only sort of reason. So if I'm not sitting down thinking about it, then I'm in bed.
Wow. Did you ever doubt yourself as a man at some point in time?
I wouldn't say that's why I didn't doubt myself as a man. It's no boasting, but I didn't see any reason because she was getting pregnant. If she was not getting pregnant, then I would have a cause to worry. But there she was getting pregnant regularly, so there was no concern over there.
Nana, you went back after 6 months. What was the outcome, or what have you noticed?
So during that time, I took time off work. Thought, you know what, this is too much. Maybe I need to give my body a break. So I took time off work, and I felt so lonely because my husband would go to work and I'm just sat here watching Netflix and all that. So I was just going through Facebook, and then I saw, do you have a spare room? Can you foster a child? And I thought, oh, maybe God is speaking to me. So I discussed with my husband, contacted a fostering agency, and then we applied to become foster carers because I thought, you know, I've got an extra room. It's not happening. Why don't I do something good for the society? So we went through that. It was difficult, you know, the questions being asked and you having to rehash some of these things that we've been talking about. So after 6 months, I did my review and everything, and I've healed very well. They had no concerns there. And we went to the fostering panel, and then we got approved as foster carers in December 2019. And I said to my husband, we need a break because fostering is going to be challenging. So let's take a break before we actually take our first child. So we booked, and then we went away to Dubai. Through that, we were praying. You know, we had a spiritual support, backing, counseling, you name it. Prayers, prophecies coming to say, you know, you're going to have a child, God is going to give you a child. And my spiritual mother actually gave me a prophecy that, Nana, I have seen that you've given birth to a baby girl. In fact, God even opened the legs of the baby to show me. So it's a girl. You're going to have a girl. I said, okay. I held on to it. I was still, I was doing what I had to do, doing my good deeds, sowing seeds, praying and all of that, supporting men and women of God. So come January 2020, we took off, went to Dubai, and we went on a cruise. So the name of the ship was Bellissima, which means most beautiful in Italian. So I said to everyone, I'm going on a cruise. I'm going to come back pregnant with twins. And one is going to be a girl, one is going to be a boy. I'm going to call the girl Bella, and I'm going to call the boy Cruz, because I'm in a ship called Bellissima and I'm on a cruise. So that was it. And that was what I was speaking to the universe. I was saying it. Even when we went, I was saying it. I got all my sexy stuff in my bag, ready to go. I told him, you better do press ups because I am not going to joke on the ship. How many people can say that they've done the deed on a ship, on the sea? So I prepared. So we went with prayer, with, faith, belief, positivity, and all that. We went, came back. As I told you, when I'm pregnant, I don't know I'm pregnant. So we came back. I had taken pay cuts. I was working locally because I wanted to cut down the travel and the tiredness and everything. So I started feeling unwell, cold here, not able to wake up and all of that. And when you feel that, I might be pregnant, I was stopping myself from doing the test, Nana, because when you do the test, then you're pregnant. And you know that, it's going to be like those ones. I didn't want to put myself through that emotional torture. So I was seriously preventing myself from doing the test. And then one day I'm like, Nana, what if you don't do the test and you go and eat the wrong thing? or you do the wrong stuff and you lose the baby. So do it. So I mustered the courage, and then I did it one morning, and it was positive. I didn't know how to behave. I was like, do I become happy? Do I not? I don't know how it's going to end. What do I do? So I just sat there looking at him thinking, hey, what do I do with this? So I took a picture. I sent it to my spiritual parent. I said, I am pregnant. What do I do? I said, Nana, we thank God. We're going to pray. Don't worry. Don't think negative. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So just encouragement. So I chucked that one in the bin. I didn't tell my husband, chucked it in the bin. And I was looking, I'm thinking, oh, I won't tell him. And I'm like, but I can't wake up. I can't cook. I can't, I need him to cook for me. If I don't tell him, he's just going to go to work and I'm going to be hungry. So I waited one afternoon. He was in the kitchen. I don't know what he was doing. He was in the kitchen. I think he was washing dishes or he was cooking something. And I walked behind him, and then I just put the pregnancy test in his pocket. He went for his pocket. I don't know whether he thought I was taking his phone or his wallet. He went for his pocket, picked it. I was like, oh, you are pregnant. Congratulations. I said, is that what you can say? Congratulations to who? We are in it. Why are you congratulating me? He didn't even know what to say. And I was like, oh, thank God. And then he hugged me. And I'm like, oh, you are not romantic. Leave me alone. you are not even romantic. So, yeah. And then that's how it happened. So I waited till like 8 weeks, and then I followed all the formalities, registered, and then intelligence, wisdom. I said to the midwife, I do not want the same consultant that operated me. Give me a different consultant, because sometimes you feel like they know you too much, you know them too much. Let me try something different. So that's what I did. And I think when I was 6 or 7 months, I went for my checkup and I saw her, and then she saw me, was like, oh my God, you are pregnant. She was so happy. But COVID happened, right? So my husband wasn't allowed to attend any of the appointments with me. The scans, the routine appointment, he just had to sit in the car and wait. And again, that felt a bit lonely because it is a special journey. It's a special moment and we want to enjoy it together. I want somebody there holding my hand, but COVID took that away from us again. So I went through it all by myself. It wasn't an easy pregnancy. In June, I had meningitis. Whilst I was pregnant, I was in hospital for 2 weeks, and that was going to be Father's Day, first Father's Day, expecting. And again, that was taken away from him because I was on admission at the hospital. I was given 3 antibiotics a day through the vein. It wasn't even tablets. And they said they wanted to draw some water from my brain. And I said no. And it was the 3rd time that I had meningitis. I've had it twice before. So I said, no, I'm not doing it. Nobody's touching nowhere of my body. I don't know what can touch the baby. I'm not doing it. Treat me, I will go home. So that's what they did. And then Father's Day, I couldn't walk. But my husband came to the hospital, brought me food, and I thought, you know what, let me just walk for him to see the belly. So I just tracked myself with the Zimmer frame, and then went to the door, and then, just did, like the prison touch on the window. Sent him a message, say, Happy Father's Day from your baby, da 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 da, and that got him emotional as well. It was like, this really got me. I said, okay, he's expressing something. Came home, I was working with a Zimmer frame. I couldn't walk because my hips were just clicking, the bones and all of that. And lo and behold, I remember my birthday came, and that day I dressed up, and I came downstairs and I danced to glorify God that, at the age of 42, I'm pregnant, eventually. So I had my red lipstick, and red lipstick is one of my favorite colors. So after, I just wiped it with the tissue and I left it in the toilet. And then I went to bed. I was there, my husband can say, have you seen you are bleeding? I said, bleeding where? I was bleeding where? So come and see the toilet. I'm like, hey, Ken, it's the lipstick. So again, that was another point I thought, so he's also going through this. I don't know, is it going to stand? Is it going to, or is it not? But again, we did not talk about it. So I didn't even know how he was feeling. Sex was another thing we didn't do. What if we have sex and then we lose the baby?
I wish, Nana, this is something that I definitely wanted to explore further, but I don't want this video to be too long. And I know somebody may say, no, get them to talk about it. Talking about, this is where you're losing the babies. How much, enticing is it for you to even think about going back and even thinking about sex? And even during the period of pregnancy, are you scared? What's going to happen? At what point in time, Nana is talking about pastors, your faith, believing in God and all that. Ken, at what point in time do you think you shared that same level of faith when all this was going on?
I always shared that level. I always shared my faith. I knew that it was going to happen. And that was the main reason why when the surrogacy issue came in, I was so angry, because I knew that there was nothing wrong with both of us. So it's just a matter of time, and at the right time it will come. So I wasn't. That's why I wasn't disturbed when there was no child. I knew that definitely the day will come, and so there was no pressure on me at all. And I never put that pressure back on her also, because I knew it will come at the right time.
So you call yourself a man of faith?
I'll surely say that.
Guys, this is the situation where we need to talk about. If you're looking behind Nana and Ken, you've actually had a foundation, or you have a foundation. Tell us about Bella Faithful.
Right, okay. So as I mentioned before, that during the course of going through all these challenges, the support wasn't there for me, for my husband, for us as a couple. So after, God blessed us with our daughter, Mirabel. Her name is Mirabel, but her nickname is Bella, because I said I was going to have Bella. So I had to stick to it and give her the Bella name. So we then spoke, and we decided to come up with a foundation in honor of our daughter as a legacy for her as well. So, so many years down the line, she can also talk about how she came, into being. So we came up with Bella Faithful Fertility Foundation. Bella because of her name, Faithful because of our faith in God, and obviously it's about fertility. So we launched it last year, and we're supporting other couples going through the same journey that we've been through, offering emotional support, offering financial support, but the financial support is means tested, signposting them. Sometimes people don't even know where to go, where to start. So signposting them, knowing that we are here and they can talk to us, and we are sharing our experience as well to encourage people out there, and also to raise awareness in the community that it is not okay to go about asking people, when are you having children? Oh, you've been married for a year, you've been married for 10 years. Why don't you have children? All those comments is not needed. It is not necessary. It adds to the pressure. We're also raising awareness that infertility can cause mental health issues. It can cause domestic abuse issues, sometimes not within the couple, but from the extended family, from friends and all of that. So it's to raise the awareness, but more importantly, to provide that emotional support, the physical support for couples going through that. So that's why we've come up with the foundation.
You have something amazing coming up. Tell us about that. I know you are a busy.
We do. So we do yearly fundraising. We launched it last year. So next month will be the first anniversary. So this year we've decided to do a fundraising on the 29th of October. And we're starting at 4. And then we're going to go until late. We've got, thankfully, the mayor of Luton has confirmed that they will be coming. So we're very happy about that. This year, we're going to raise funds. And we're going to make donation to the maternity and neonatal ward of Luton and Dunstable Hospital, because that's where I had my baby. Princess Royal Hospital in Telford, because that's where I started my fertility treatment. And then we also have couples that we're currently supporting in Ghana. One of them has recently had a fibroid operation, which was a bit costly as well. So we will be using some of that money we raise. We also have an orphanage in Ghana that we've adopted, that we also, or should I say, we foster them, that we also support them. This year we are also hoping to raise awareness about cervical cancer and and also get women tested for cervical cancer. So some of that funds that we raise will go towards that. We will be selling tickets, and standard is £40 and VIP is £70, and we will raise funds on the night as well. There's going to be live band, there's going to be loads of African, Caribbean, English cuisine, cocktails, you name it. So yeah, it's going to be a fun night, but it's going to be one for a good cause as well. So please come, support us, help us raise as much as we can, so we will be able to help other couples going through this whilst raising an awareness in the community. We've got a lot of sponsors, and would like to take this opportunity to thank all our sponsors as well.
Ken, this interview has definitely been emotional, and what would be your advice to men out there?
The little I'll have to say is that just be encouraged that you are not the only man out there, and there are a lot of men going through that. But for us coming together, knowing that you have a problem and dealing with it, that is the only way that you can resolve it. Because you can never run away from the truth that if it's not happening, you're going somewhere else to get it. You don't know what you're going into. So my main advice is just stick to your wife, please stick to your partners, and just make it work. You didn't marry her because you married her for children. If you marry and children comes in, it's a blessing. If they don't come in, yes, the part of the world that we come from, there'll be lambasting, there'll be lashes from you, but just be encouraged that at the end of it all, it's the two of you. A man and a woman will leave their house and become one. So if your wife is with you and it's not happening, it doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. It might delay, but it will surely come. Never be discouraged, because the life that we live in, all the fingers are not equal. Some people will have 3, 4, 5. Yours might be 1. You might be pushing to have that children, and different thing might happen. You might be disabled. I know a lady that she was pushing to have children. She was pushing, and after having the child, she's now disabled, and the husband is left her. So please, let us just accept the fact that it's not all of us that are going to have children. The fact that you don't have a biological child does not make you not have a child. We can adopt. You can foster. There are a lot of children in this world that needs parenting. There are a lot of children that are suffering on the streets. So please, don't just take it upon yourself that you need to have it on your own. If it's not happening, it's for a reason. Just have faith. It will surely come to pass.
Guys, it's been amazing. For anybody out there who may be going through infertility, I don't know, I feel a bit cringing when I'm using the word infertility, because, for whatever term that may be allowed or agreed that we need to refer to it as, let's remember that we need to be able to seek the support for ourselves in our community, and also help other people, young couples, whoever may be thinking of having a child, let's look at how best to support such persons through our language and also through such networks, to make sure that they are able to identify with people who have gone through their journeys and can support them appropriately. Guys, if you haven't subscribed till this far, what more are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button, be part of this journey. I will definitely do my best to come and, meet Ken and Nana again. Please, if you can, put in the comment section which part. Is there anything that you want to know further? And if you want to reach out to Ken and Nana, please let me know. I'm sure they will be happy for me to share their details as well. So, guys, it's been amazing. This is not just about the happy stories that we always post on Black Next Gen. This is about a learning experience, and I think it's been amazing learning and also being with you once more. Guys, I sign out. What I'll say is, boom, see you soon.